Hey, welcome everybody. I'm Love Coach Scott Thomas, and it is Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe. Yeah, that's you. Because if you're listening to my voice, you are part of our Global Peace Tribe. It's pretty amazing. We've got people coming from all over the world watching our show now, and we're really grateful for that. In fact, a lot of you are watching on our broadcast partners. So we want to thank those of you who are watching on Unify or Alan Steinfeld's New Realities TV, YouTube channel, a lot of different places that people watch us. And we want to welcome that we've got a brand new broadcast partner who's broadcasting us tonight. So we want to welcome our friends from the Enlightened World Network. And they are truly bringing heaven to earth. They have over 2,000 videos of amazing speakers and presenters. So it's really fun to be on still another broadcast channel. So, and you'll be meeting Ruth, who's the woman who runs that on one of our future shows. But if you are watching on one of our Facebook groups or pages, and there's about 200 Facebook groups that now carry us, you can still come into our Zoom room. And you know what? There's a lot of advantages to doing that. It's really easy. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com and register. Literally, it takes a minute. And the advantage to coming in and joining us that way is that we get your email address. Don't worry, we keep it to ourselves. We don't give it to anyone else. But you'll then get an email notification on Mondays that has the recording of our most recent show, and it also tells you how to have access to all of the previous shows we've done. And I think this is about our 47th or 48th show. And there's a lot of other features that come with being registered with us. So really, I want to encourage you, go to globalpeacetribe.com, register, and come on into our Zoom room. We've got well over 200 people in the Zoom room right now. We'll get up to about 500 probably tonight. And by coming into the Zoom room also, you can chat much more easily with our presenters, with our performers. We can chat with you. We can answer your questions. So come on into the Zoom room if at all possible. I also really want to acknowledge our sponsor of tonight's show. Tonight's show is sponsored by Light Touch. And of course, that means that it's sponsored and brought to you by Jay Mayer. And I'm looking for Jay, but he's not in our panel. Oh, there he is. Where is that masked man? There he is. All right. Sorry about that. So here is Jay with that good looking, the hat is what threw me off, Jay. And a lot of the videos you're going to see tonight were created by Jay. And again, I do want to acknowledge that Light Touch is the sponsor of the show. You're going to learn all about Light Touch tonight. And we've got just a lot of fun. And it makes sense that Light Touch is our sponsor because tonight it's all about optimizing our health. And we've got amazing teachers and practitioners of a lot of different varieties of health with us. And to tell you a little bit more about the show and who we've got on, it's my producing partner, an amazing woman. It is Deborah Giusti. Take it away, Deborah.
Thank you, Scott, and welcome everyone to what is our 47th show that we've produced every Saturday night since the lockdown in April 2020 during these highly challenging but very evolutionary times. And we have one more month for our winter season, January, March, and we are now working on season 5, Time to Thrive, which is going to be April through June 2021. And again, we thank you so much for your donations that you give us when you register. That really helps us to produce a really quality show for you. And thank you for the donations to GoFundMe, which helps us to create ahead the new season that we're doing for you now. And yes, this is going to be a really important show. Tonight, we are going to feature best tools and practices for optimizing our health. One of the best things that we can do to protect ourselves during these COVID times is to take care of our health and our immune systems. Health is truly our greatest wealth. And the great thing these days is there's so much information and important tools to improve and take care of our health. So this episode will give you timely and valuable information, and we are going to listen to incredible authorities and holistic doctors including Deepak Chopra, Dr. Gabriel Cousins, Dr. Norm Shealy, Dr. Hyla Cass, and we're also going to understand energy work, qigong, as well as yoga and clarity breathwork, and we'll have musicians from all over the world. And I'd like to present these presenters to you now. We are going to have a video of Deepak Chopra, who, as you know, is a world-renowned pioneer in integrative medicine and personal transformation expert. He's written over 90 books. And we are going to have live Dr. Norm Shealy. We know him as one of the fathers of holistic health. He's president of the Holistic Institute of Health, a nonprofit organization that's devoted to research, education, and clinical services in holistic health. We have Dr. Hyla Cass, and she is recognized as a pioneer in holistic medicine, psychiatry, and author of several popular books on holistic health. We have Lee Holden, who's a qigong master and is the producer of the Superhuman Experience docuseries, where he traveled around the world in search of the extraordinary. And we're really happy to have Ashana Solaris and Dana Dharmi Devi. They are sharing breathwork and healing for over 40 years and have pioneered their own process called Clarity Breathwork. And we have Jay Mayer to speak for us. He's our executive producer. He is the sponsor of the show, and he's founder of Light Touch. We're so happy to have him on the show. We're also going to have Lori Grace. Lori's passion has always been to inspire people to live a greener life, and has numerous businesses, organizations, and ongoing projects that continually support this mission. And we'll have a video of Dr. Gabriel Cousins, who's an extraordinary, liberated, holistic doctor, spiritual master, eco-spiritual leader, and he's coming from us from Israel. For our musicians, we always have fabulous musicians. We are going to have Yuval Ron. He's an award-winning composer and world music artist. We will have Andrea Brooks, who's an international performing artist, yoga teacher, catalyst, and public speaker. And we're happy to feature also Giselle World. She's an international performing and recording artist, composer, and she's also recognized for her musical healing contributions in the medicine community. And we will have Andrew Lee, who's an internationally known illusionist and mentalist. And I want to give another shout out to Jan Kaplan. She is the associate producer of the show, works closely with Jay, and she's really who put this show together and made all this happen. So thank you so much, John. And thank you so much, Jay Mayer, as well. This is really their brainchild, and we're gonna learn a lot about Light Touch, which is Jay has been the founder of, which helps us to really realize our full potentials, heals ourselves, and experience perfect love now. And so, Scott, we always start out with some incredible music to raise the vibration and put us in this really high, incredible state to go on with the show. So
so we're very blessed. We've got Ashana and Dana who are going to do an invocation for us. So there is Ashana, and we're gonna introduce them formally a little bit later when they do a full presentation. But they have kind of spontaneously agreed to lead an invocation, and I want to invite everybody watching to really drop in to this experience, please. Take it away, ladies.
Thank you, everyone. We're so excited to be here and to call in this boost to our health and our bodies on every level. And we're going to do that through prayer and transmission and through listening to all the incredible talks tonight. So Dana's going to guide us with her double-headed wolfie flute, and I'll bring through a prayer for us.
And the reason this is important is the flute is a ceremonial flute. It helps to open the heart, all 4 chambers.
let's take a deep breath, all of us listening right now. And we'll let out a sigh and just let go and turn ourselves over to this gathering of incredible people around the world. We are shifting the world through this beautiful World Wide Web. And let's imagine we can stand up together, friends, and take each other's hands, remembering that feeling of standing in sacred circle together. And let's stand right now in this sacred circle around the world. And let us call to us an incredible gathering of light, of health, of well-being, of lifting our vibration beyond what we have ever known before. This is our time to rise, to open, to heal, to spread our wings and to share our love and our joy with the whole world. So let's take another big breath. And I want you to feel Gaia underneath you and send your roots from wherever you are in the world. And let's join together in Gaia's incredible heart. And let's call that energy from our roots all the way up through our beautiful hearts. And let's shine our heart out to one another around the world. And let us call together divine love, divine light, divine grace. Pour through us at this time. Ignite us, empower us, inspire us. We open to healing in every cell of our bodies. We activate the codes of health and well-being in our DNA molecules. We choose life for ourselves, for humanity, for our children, and for our grandchildren, and for our great-grandchildren. And let's send this light out to all those people in our lives, especially anyone that is in need of healing right now, that is in need of hearing these words or feeling this prayer. Let's send it out around the world to all those that may be struggling through the pandemic, that may have lost loved ones, that may have dealt with challenges. Let's send them our love and an empowerment on this full moon, asking for the light to liberate us, cleanse us, clear us, awaken us, empower us, and set us free to live in a greater way in this time of the dawning of a new age, this time of Aquarius. And let's imagine we can squeeze each other's hands, and let's call in the sacred circle, all directions, the rising sun in the east, the fires in the south, the waters healing in the west, the ancestors and elders in the north, the above, the below, and the center where we are one in truth eternally. Let's offer up our prayer, set it free. And let's bring our hands in prayer position in front of our hearts and dedicate this show tonight to incredible healing for every one of us. Blessed be. Amen. And so it is.
Let's just take a moment of silence and just breathe in that beautiful prayer. Perhaps each of us watching, setting an intention for what you want to gain from tonight. And thank you so much, Ashana, Dana. Beautiful way to start our show. Thank you so, so much. And welcome, everybody. Welcome to our show. Wow.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Dana. Thank you, everyone.
And they're going to be back. We're going to have more Ashana and Dana a little bit later on in the show. So we're excited about that. All right. I am playing a video to introduce our next guest.
Don't know who they are.
Yes, that's Andrea Brooke. And you've seen her on our show twice as the Sonic Butterfly, but tonight she's joining us and we're going to hear a little bit more from her. Those of you who came into our early Zoom room show got a chance to listen to a really delightful chat with Andrea and Lee Holden. So I'm going to put the spotlight on Andrea and just tell you a little bit more about her. She is an international performing artist, a yoga teacher, a life catalyst, and an outstanding public speaker, as some of you already have heard this evening. Her teaching style incorporates the wealth of her experience, the expansiveness of her studies, and it gives her the ability to offer each student exactly what they need to support that student to cultivate the lives they truly want. She's led workshops and retreats all around the world, from the British Virgin Islands, Omega Institute, TED Conference, and performing as Sonic Butterfly at festivals from Wanderlust to Burning Man, Symbiosis, Costa Rica, Envision Festival, and many, many more. She's going to share a couple of her videos with us tonight. But before she does that, welcome, Andrea. It's great to have you on the show.
Thank you, Scott. It's so good to be back. And it's so fun to be closer to the camera so I can talk to everybody, as opposed to standing in the back inside my Ojai cocoon, which, by the way, I wanted to just bring up. I love that video that you guys put together. That was from a Valentine's Day guest artist series inside my studio, which is called the Ojai Cocoon. And that was Bernie Larson and Cassidy Larson. And we did a great collaboration in order to celebrate love in the Ojai Cocoon. And it feels like being on Saturday Night Alive is another one of these gatherings of love.
Oh, thank you. So with the theme of optimizing our health, best tools, what briefly would you say are your best tools for optimizing health?
Well, thank you. As you mentioned, I'm a yoga teacher. I like to call myself a life catalyst because it is my goal to support people to own the tool of yoga. I want for people to take that tool and utilize it to set intentions and put those intentions into motion physically, energetically, and consciously. And I believe the greatest teacher in that yoga practice is the breath. I don't actually like to think of myself as a yoga teacher. I see myself as the tour guide, kind of pointing out the sights along the way, and that the true teacher is your body and your breath.
There's a lovely video you've put together for us. We're going to play it in a moment, but can you tell us a little bit about what we're about to see?
Yes, I'd be happy to. So the video is called Love Holy. So in addition to performing as Sonic Butterfly, I also have done 2 albums. One is called Chakra Beats, and the other is called Elevate. And in these, rather than performing on a long string harp, instead, I am speaking and I am bringing consciousness to the dance floor, as I like to call it. In this video, Love Holy, I collaborated with a wonderful team, Feed Your Soul Music. They're really awesome. My dear friend Keith Kahn, and it was just such a blast because we took really fun beats and we mixed it together with this spoken consciousness. And this song, Love Holy, is about loving yourself wholly through the breath. So here's what I was sharing earlier with everyone in the early Zoom room, and talking about how the best way to become our fullest self is to breathe fully. So the in-breath offers itself to the out-breath, and actually the out-breath occurs because of the in-breath. And the more full the in-breath is, the more beautiful the out-breath can be. And the out-breath creates the opportunity for the in-breath. If we don't exhale, we can never inhale again. And so that exhale creates the space for the next inhale. And the more deeply and fully that we exhale, the more space for our inhale. And so the in-breath loves the out-breath and offers itself to the out-breath. And the out-breath loves the in-breath and offers itself to the in-breath. And then the in-breath gets to be its fullest, most dynamic self because that full celebrated inhale creates the most beautiful exhale. And the exhale gets to be its fullest, most celebrated self to create the space for that inhale. And what's fascinating is that a breath is not an inhale or an exhale. It is an inhale and an exhale. So a whole breath is both. The integration of the two, the love of the two, the way in which they come together, support, and celebrate one another. And so my focus in my work as a yoga teacher and a life catalyst is to teach us to integrate into loving ourselves wholly, to not feel ourselves as disparate, and that I am this day-to-day person dealing with my stuff, or I am that spiritually divine person, that I am a spiritually divine person and a mundane person, or as you put it so well, the extraordinary and the ordinary, and that the two are celebrating one another, coming together into wholeness, that my whole self is the fully integrated sense of who I am in all of my parts, celebrating each one rather than negating each other. And thus I become superhuman, or my fully beautiful self. And so this video and this song, Love Wholly, is about that, is about loving oneself wholly by fully integrating that inhale and exhale and all that we are, and putting that into motion.
Fantastic. Thank you. And here we go with the video.
Air is breath. Breath is breath is breath is breath. Breath is life. Harness life. Take a deep inhale. Spirit intersects with matter. Coming together into balance. vulnerability, compassion, acceptance, understanding, love.
I'm going to pause it on that for a moment because I just really want to acknowledge the beauty of that video. And also for any of you who want to get more of it, to get it, you can go to feedyoursoulmusic.com, and you can go to Bandcamp. You can stream it, purchase it on Bandcamp. And I'm also going to go to one other place. Andrea, I just love that. That is
Thank
such
you.
a gorgeous video. And we're going to have Andrea's going to come back later today. We're not done with her. But to get more videos, to hear her music, to learn more, you can go to www.sonicbutterfly.com. Sonicbutterfly.com. She also has a wonderful YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube and you put in her name, you'll be able to find her. So thank you so much for getting us off to just what a back-to-back between Dana and Ashana's lovely invocation and your video. It's just a beautiful, beautiful start to our show. Thank you so much. And we'll see you a little bit later on in the show.
Great.
All right. And to introduce our first kind of speaker presenter, here's my partner, Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. Well, I've known about the amazing work of this next presenter since the awareness of holistic health came into our culture 40 years ago. And I've even heard him being called the father of holistic medicine. Dr. Norman Shealy is the president of Holos Institute of Health, and that's a nonprofit organization that's devoted to research, education, and clinical services in holistic health. And he was the founding president of Holos University Graduate Seminary. And he was instrumental in creating the American Holistic Health Medical Association, which continues to emphasize the spiritual component of healing. And he holds 11 patents for innovative discoveries. He's published 25 books, and he's still on mission to help to heal our culture through holistic health. So I'm so happy to welcome Dr. Norm Shealy.
Thank you, Deborah. You know, I've worked on everything I could think about related to electricity of the brain because, you know, we are electrical beings. But my favorite tool remains something that started with autogenic training. Autogenic training is the foundation for what I now call biogenics. It's gone from one exercise to 68 different exercises. And it puts people into the state of consciousness. It does everything that qigong and all kinds of acupuncture and other meditative techniques do. And it is phenomenally useful in treating pain, depression, and anxiety. Now, you can get a free copy of a book that describes all of it by going to our website. And you can just do normanshealy.com or realholistic.doc.com. And you can sign up and get this downloaded free. And of course, we have a course at biogenicscourse.com, which has all 68 different exercises in it. I'd like to give you just a brief example because I often do just 3 or 4 breaths of each phrase, and it will lower blood pressure in 90% of people within that short period of time. So just get into a comfortable position, close your eyes, and repeat the words in the pauses after me as you breathe in. My arms and legs, as you breathe out, are heavy and warm. My arms and legs are heavy and warm. My arms and legs are heavy and warm. My heartbeat is calm and regular. My heartbeat is calm and regular. My heartbeat is calm and regular. My breathing is free and easy. My breathing is free and easy. My breathing is free and easy. My abdomen is warm. My abdomen is warm. My abdomen is warm. My forehead is cool. My forehead is cool. My forehead is cool. My mind is quiet and still. My mind is quiet and still. My mind is quiet and still. I am at peace. I am at peace. I am at peace. Just that brief exercise will lower your blood pressure to normal in 90% of people. And you have to do it a lot. And if you do it twice a day, preferably 18 minutes twice a day for 3 months, you train the brain so well that then you can actually get into that state in one repetition of each phrase. In this current pandemic, with all the stress that's going on, I do it, well, maybe twice a day for 1 minute each. And it helps me detach. My favorite word in the entire language is detach. I can't change government. I can't change anything but myself. And so I do not allow myself to get tied up, fed over anybody else's thing. And it keeps me calm and collected. And now we're actually working on increasing anandamide, the natural bliss hormone produced in the brain. Within a month, we should have the results of that. The important thing is you can control a great deal of your life. And the best way is to plan it and spend the time, not just mentally, but physically, mentally, and emotionally, retraining your body and your mind. It is the training that is important. Now, I did this initially in 1972 for 3 months. And since that time, I don't have to do it 18 minutes even once a day. 1 or 2 minutes is adequate to keep my mind balanced and trained. And this is what we work on every day with people who fail conventional medicine. In my opinion, I do not know any chronic disease for which I would allow conventional medicine in myself and certainly in my patients. I spend my time weaning them from drugs. In acute illness, medicine can sometimes cure you. From acute injuries, especially, conventional medicine is good. But for any chronic disease, it is infinitely better to train your brain and use these holistic approaches for body, mind, and spiritual health and well-being. And I would like to encourage everyone to take advantage of that, get the book, and consider the biogenicscourse.com, because this is the best thing I know for training your brain. And there's still a lot of electrical gadgets. I mean, I started off with transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulation, spinal cord stimulation, cranial electrical stimulation, and then we've gone to the gamma PEMF device, which is the greatest thing in the world for severe depression and anxiety, and scalar energy, which lowers free radicals. There are all kinds of adjuncts in the holistic world. The holistic approach, in my opinion, is the only one that I would even think about for any kind of chronic disease. If you can't find a holistic doctor, go to the internet. There are lots of us all over the country, all over the world. And I do still like acupuncture, and electroacupuncture is a great adjunct. But the important thing is this series of 6 little phrases puts you into an hypnotic trance. You can go all the way to deep sleep. In 1976, I had a sinus infection, the only one I've ever had in my life. I needed to have surgery. And I said, give me 20 minutes and I'll be ready. And I put myself into this state and I made my nose numb. And I said, I'm ready. I could feel movement. I could hear this crunching of bone as they went up to my sphenoid sinus. No pain whatsoever. And that's how well you can train your body to deal with all kinds of problems. There are a whole bunch of exercises for training the body, the mind, the emotions, and ultimately, my favorite of all my exercises in all these years is every thought is a prayer. Thinking sets in motion spiritual forces to bring about change in body, mind, emotions, companions, hopes, and despairs. Every thought is a prayer. Think positively every day of your life. The most important thing in your world is your body. There's only one purpose in life: to love, to help other people. Love is the desire to help other people. And the person who made this shirt is just as important as I am. The person who made this video is certainly as important as anyone else I know. Anything you do that helps anyone else is equally important. But the most important thing is to take care of yourself so that you can contribute and love other people. Blessings to all. Thank you very, very much.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Shealy, for coming on board. I noticed that people have been asking if maybe somebody can write down the different affirmations that you gave. And Deborah has been putting into the chat box the pages, the website for Dr. Shealy. So, thank you so much, Dr. Shealy. It's really an honor to have you with us. Really, really an honor. Thank you so much. And his website is his name, normshealy.com, NORMSHEALY.com. So thank you, Dr. Shealy. Well, we love having magic on our show. And this is something that we do in most of our shows. And tonight we have a new magician. This is his first time on our show. So I'm putting the spotlight on Andrew Lee. And just tell you a little bit briefly about him. He's an internationally known illusionist and mentalist. He travels frequently, and his unique acts have mesmerized audiences all across land and sea in Asia, Australia, Europe, and even the Middle East. He took social media by storm after he wowed Britain's talent judge, yes, Simon Cowell. Anybody who can get Simon Cowell to wow them is somebody we're certainly happy to have on the show. So Andrew, welcome to Saturday Night Alive.
Thank you so much, Scott, and hello everybody and welcome here. I'm excited to be tuning in here with all of you here in Malaysia. Well, see, in Malaysia, when we meet new people, we welcome them with a cup of tea. So guys, it is such a pleasure being with all of you here today. Let's have tea. Now, see, the way I make tea is a little different than most people. Now, of course, we have the teapot, we have tea, a tea bag, and of course, most importantly, we have water. Now, I'm going to make this especially special for you guys, okay? We're going to start off here with the water. Okay, and the tea. Now watch.
Whoa.
Most importantly, guys, would you all please raise your glasses? I would like to propose a toast to all of you guys. Would you please raise your glasses or pretend to raise your glasses? Well, ladies and gentlemen, may I propose a toast to all of you to your health, wealth, and safety as we soon travel the world again. From my heart to yours. Cheers. One of the great things about traveling around the world and meeting new people is the connections we make. This piece is about connecting. It's very ancient and it comes from China, but I've updated it for modern audiences. I hope it connects with you.
Oh.
Over and back to you, Scott.
Andrew, that's just so beautiful. I mean, I really tune into a 10-year-old boy watching that amazing magic. Andrew's going to come back. We're going to have a second act, but I do want to let people know how you can reach him. I know that Deborah's been putting it in the chat box, but just want to show you can go to Andrew Lee Magic, ANDREWLEE magic.com. And thank you so much, Andrew. That was just like really, my heart's just like really blown away. It's beautiful. Thank you. And we'll see you in a little while.
Thank you. See you guys.
Well, as we've said before, you know, this show is brought to you by Light Touch. And there's Jay Mayer and beautiful Jan, his partner. And so to learn a little bit more about Light Touch, let's take a look at this video. a lot of us are very involved in light touch. We do, Jay and Jan and myself and a lot of people gather every morning at 8:30 Pacific time, and we do prayers and affirmations. And then every evening at 7:30, we send each other little gifs and messages and blessings. And it's a really lovely way to invoke more energy. And it's kind of like this combination of awakening the senses through light touch and also really kind of coming together as a community. So if any of you are interested in learning more about light touch, I'm going to pull up one more time a screen, and it really is about, so already in our show, so many people from Dr. Norm Healy to Andrea have talked about love and self-love, touching ourselves in a loving way. It's a beautiful form of love. So again, if you want to learn more about light touch, go to light-touch.me, and that's where you can find out all about it. I also want to acknowledge that Jay does a really wonderful job of creating a lot of the videos you're going to see, including the video that I'm going to show right now, which is to get you excited about an upcoming show that we're going to do, a new show of Saturday Night Live on March 13th. Check it out. So that's 2 weeks from tonight. And my friend here, Boobali, is going to be co-hosting that show. We've already received, I think, about 20 photos. So if you want your pet to be involved, or there's Jan with her cat. So if you want us to show a photo of your pet, send it to us quickly. Send it to Laura@globalpeacetribe.com. Laura@globalpeacetribe.com. And hey, it's kind of fun to get to know you and to get to know your beautiful furries. And by the way, it could be not just dogs and cats, but hamsters, rabbits, fish, horses, all of the animals that make life wonderful. Thank you for putting that video together, Jay. Thank you, Jan. And now for our next act, if you will, here's Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. Lee Holden is a master and instructor of qigong, meditation, and tai chi, and he's well known for his ability to make these esoteric Taoist teachings accessible to the modern student. And this has been popularized through books, classes, workshops, video courses. But he's also the producer of an incredible docu-series called The Superhuman Experience, where he traveled around the world in search of the extraordinary. He also hosts a PBS show called Less Stress, More Energy. And he's got a lot to share with us on our theme tonight of really optimizing our health. Welcome, Lee.
Thanks so much, Deborah. This practice is really one of those ancient medicines. And what I love about it is it's preventative. And preventative medicine is truly holistic. Let's prevent problems from arising before they get started. And in fact, the way this medicine worked, I think is brilliant. It was that you paid your healthcare practitioner, your acupuncturist, your herbalist, your doctor, your qigong master, you pay them a monthly fee. And then as soon as you have problems, get sick, you stop paying. Now, what are they motivated to do? Keep you healthy. And when we're talking about health, true healthcare is prevention. And how do we work with true healthcare? Well, the ancient Chinese masters and the ancient Ayurvedic masters, where yoga and pranayama and qigong and tai chi all come from, they work on their energy systems. And so to cultivate energy, or qi as it was called, was one of those core practices. To develop high vibration in our bodies prevented problems from arising. And this is really helpful, especially nowadays, where we can strengthen our immune system, we can calm our minds, and holistic healthcare is integrative. It is in a way in which we can integrate mind, emotions, body, because each of these influences each other. If we have emotional stress, it impacts our immune system. If we're tired, our immune system goes down, or we might have emotional stress. So these energies go back and forth and in what is called flow. And so when we can activate the energy of positive thinking, the energy of an elevated heart, the energy circulation within our bodies with breath techniques and synchronizing breath with movements, we start to become empowered, and we really become our own best healers. And that's really what we want to do. Now, Deborah, are we going to show a clip from the movie?
I think that would be Scott that's going to be doing that. So,
Yeah, Scott.
Hello.
If not, what I can do, I'm going to take people through an exercise, but I wanted to show them in this movie, in this little clip that we have. Basically what I did is I traveled around the world. We went to the caves of the Himalayas. We met the martial arts masters from China. We saw the Indian yogis, and we said, who are the rock stars? Who are the Olympic gold medalists in these fields? Because so often we're used to seeing the athletes, the dancers, the magicians, and these incredible human beings that can do extraordinary things. But let's look at it from that spiritual perspective, that energetic perspective. And what we found was truly extraordinary. And it has relevance for each one of us to be able to tap into our own human potential. And what we found is the human potential is great. It is grand. And when we start to feel tuned in to our own potential, it's amazing. We live from a higher vibration. We live in an elevated state. We live in inspiration. And that is truly extraordinary. So it's not about what those people can do, although they are truly inspiring. It's about what we can do and what we can create. And it's about coming together and creating community like this and elevating our energy. Because when we bring groups of people together, the right groups of people with the right intentions can change the world. And that happens when we get out of stress and into the heart and start to develop those connections. Those connections are really what we're calling the energy of love. It's the energy that keeps us united, not only to each other, but to the world around us, to the divine. And it's wherever we direct our attention with that heartfelt, loving energy behind it that creates that deep connection with life.
Are you ready for me to shortly?
Yeah, let's do it, Scott.
Okay. Hold on, let me go to full screen. Where you guys were was covering my full screen. So here we go. All right.
Still quite unexplored, and I probably do not really have a very clear, or I cannot propose a real scientific model out of it. Bagus is going to perform a ritual in empowerment where he's going to use his Kundalini to activate mine. His power is so intense, so dramatic, that he has to use a leaf or a flower to touch me. If he would touch me directly, he would probably give me a heart attack and literally blast me away. Oof. Whoa.
guys.
Okay, guys, I'm getting to my limit.
Wow.
Incredible scene, huh? And what the scene didn't show, it goes on. We take a voltometer, the thing you put in a light socket to see if there's electricity, and we touch it to his skin, and it goes off, and in fact shocks this man in the movie, in the scene, even more. And so what he's done is cultivated his chi, his life force energy, what David, the star of the movie, called his kundalini. And we found masters with this level of intensity both in Indonesia and China, Tibet, and India. And in fact, the interesting thing was this technique of cultivating energy came from originally India, moved through Tibet, found its way into Shaolin temples in China, and then made its way to Indonesia. And we sort of traced that in our movie, talking and discovering different masters. But I want to take everybody through a little practice for themselves. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to activate your own energy. And this is your magic show within yourself. What I want you to do is activate the meridians in your fingers by just bringing your fingernails and the first knuckle of the fingers back and forth together vigorously. Then we're going to just take a couple of deep breaths. I want you to breathe in through the nose, a nice deep breath, and do this really vigorously, back and forth, and exhale out through the mouth. And we're just going to do that 3 times to activate our life force energy. Do it again. One more time, deep breath, a little stronger. Now, what I want you to do is just bring your hands in your lap and feel the activation of your own life force energy, the inner electricity, bioelectricity, the mysterious life force energy. Feel it buzzing and tingling in your body. And just take that energy of your hands and bring it together by your heart and feel the energy of your heart activate it. Take a deep breath into that. And as your heart energy elevates, you can feel that we all connect together in a heartfelt, energetic exchange. And each one of us helps to contribute and elevate the group's energy just a little bit more. And from here, just send out your blessings to the world around you, out to a world that is in much need of heartfelt, elevated, loving kindness. Beautiful.
Lee, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing with us at the beginning during our early Zoom room show. And as always, you know, our speakers, we only have a chance to briefly introduce you to them, but there's a lot that Lee has to offer, and you can find out by going to his website. I know that Deborah's been posting it, but I've got it here for us to look at. And I'll read it to those of you who are listening. Maybe you want to write it down. It's holdenqigong.com. So that's Holden, Holden, Lee's last name, Qigong, Qigong, holdenqigong.com. And thank you so much, Lee, for being on the show with us. And sure hope you'll come back. You've got a lot of wonderful wisdom to share.
I would love to. Thanks, Scott. And Scott, I also wanted to show, if people want to see the rest of the movie, it's at superhumanexperience.io. I think it might have been put in there too, but there's some incredible scenes that are very inspirational. So
beautiful.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. I look forward to having you back on the show again sometime. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I apologize for missing that first cue. So my apologies for that. All right. We are having, tonight's kind of a unique night in that we've got these amazing musical artists, but we're primarily seeing videos. And this is something that honestly is kind of a Jay Mayer inspiration. Jay finds these amazing videos and artists. And one of the artists that he discovered is a woman named Giselle. She is going to join us later tonight But right now she's doing a concert in Miami. So what's really wonderful is Jan and Jay arranged for her to actually record some music just for us. So she brought in her guitarist and recorded this video just for us. And as it just kind of drop in and kind of begin to integrate the wisdom that we've heard from Lee and from Shealy. So here we go. Here is Giselle, just for us.
Thank you, Global Peace Tribe, for inviting us to share music. My name is Giselle World. I'm accompanied tonight by Marcelo Rosauro. We're going to share a song called Agua.
Wow, how lovely. So Giselle is going to be joining us, as I said, a little bit later this evening. So we're going to do our bio and we'll introduce her then, and we're going to hear more from her. So thank you, Jay and Jan, for finding Giselle. Really appreciate that. And now I'm turning it back over to Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. So now we get to hear from the incredible Deepak Chopra. He has created a video for us. He is a world-renowned pioneer in integrative medicine and personal transformation, and he's well known for integrating science and spirituality in medicine. He's the founder of the Chopra Foundation, and he has authored over 90 books in over 43 languages, including numerous New York Times bestseller. He's been on our show live before, and we're happy to have him on video now. So Scott, can you share what Deepak Chopra has to share with us?
Absolutely. A video he made just for us.
Through the last 100 years, anytime there's been a crisis, pandemics, depression, economic disasters, there's something new that has emerged. World War I, Great Depression, AM radio. World War II, atomic weapons, unfortunately, but then TV. 1990, after the economic depression, we had the internet. 2000, same time as 9/11, around the same time, the emergence of mobile phones and then smartphones, and now all these technologies that we have, we can communicate together. A global brain is being born and a new story is emerging. Social scientists who understand emergence say that certain things happen when something new happens. First, there's the destruction of the old, and then there's the emergence of the new. But emergence is now becoming a science. And emergence happens when you have an open system of communication, like the one we have right now, where there's total transparency, where there is openness to feedback, where no one is personally offended, where there's a shared vision, where there is emotional and spiritual bonding, and where there's the complementing of everyone's strengths with maximum diversity. Humanitarians, scientists, technology people, storytellers, poets, musicians, filmmakers, hip-hop artists, graffiti artists. We need a new story right now. And that new story is a new context, a new meaning, a new relationship with each other, and the emergence, ultimately, of a more peaceful, just, sustainable, healthier, and joyful world. What does it take to do that story? I just told you exactly the ingredients for a new story. Our old story is unfortunate, and it's been being recycled for thousands of years. COVID-19 is the latest story, and now we have riots all over the world, especially in America, but there's war, there's terrorism, there's ethnocentrism, there's racism, there's bigotry, there's hatred, and national leaders across the globe are gangsters. So that story does not work anymore. We need a new story. And it's up to us to create that new story. A story that begins by deep listening to each other, a story that involves emotional intelligence, emotional freedom, emotional relationships that embody empathy, compassion, love, kindness, empathy, and joy. A new story requires expansion of our awareness of who are we beyond our appearance, beyond our color, beyond our nationality, beyond our religion. It needs expansion in the direction of insight, intuition, imagination, inspiration, but also execution. A new story requires love in action, because love without action is meaningless, and action without love is irrelevant. But when you have love and action together, you can create a new story, and it better be a love story. Okay, so keep these words in mind. Peace, social economic justice, sustainability, and health, and happiness, and joy, and freedom from social constructs that don't work. Social constructs that have been based on predation, on conquest, on slavery, on social injustice, on economic exploitation, those structures are dying. You will see distributed leadership in the world and sanghas. In Eastern wisdom traditions, we are told you need only three things: refuge in the Buddha, which means higher consciousness; refuge in the Sangha, which means community with shared vision and shared passion; and refuge in service. That's it. And there are other words to describe this: seva, service; Sangha, community; Simran, meditation, reflection, self-inquiry, and transcendence. If we combine these, create global communities online and offline, which we have the capacity to do now with all the new technologies, we can create a global Sangha. The internet now is our collective brain. You can give somebody a dopamine hit by sending them an emoticon, no matter where you are. I have been working with ecologists and scientists who tell me that if bugs and bees and insects and bacteria and viruses disappeared from our planet, all life would cease in 5 years. If humans disappeared from our planet, all life would flourish on this planet in 5 years. What are we going to do? Are we going the way of extinction, or are we going the way of a new humanity?
That's quite a powerful question he's asking, isn't it? I would love to see some of your responses in the chat box. Who do which of you think that we are heading for extinction? Would it be our 6th or 7th global extinction event? And who believes that we're heading into a time of higher consciousness, greater enlightenment? And obviously, we know what we all want, but I'm curious if any of you want to put into the chat box what you think. When we asked Deepak what he wanted us to promote, he laughed and he says, there's so many things that I'm doing, but this is what he chose for us to present. And he's really excited about it. If you go to his website, deepakchopra.com, it's just his name, he's got these new meditations and affirmations. And he said that he was really excited about this. So this is what we're promoting, is Deepak's new meditation and affirmation card set. And again, you can find that along with a lot of other things that Deepak has to offer on his deepakchopra.com website. So go take a look at it. All right, remember those two lovely ladies that got us off to such a wonderful start? Well, I'm going to bring them back. So here is Dana, and here is Ashana. And I'm going to remove myself, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about both of them. I've had the good fortune to know them for many, many years. But for those of you who don't know Ashana and Dana, they've been sharing breathwork and healing for over 40 years. I guess they started when they were around 5 or 6 years old. They've pioneered their own process, and they call it Clarity Breathwork. And honestly, I've done it. It's beautiful. It's exquisite. It's a gentle, compassionate, feminine approach to breathing and healing, and it truly has shifted lives around the planet. They combine their many years of experience and gifts together in a beautiful way, as you're beginning to get a sense of that with the beautiful invocation they did. Kind of combining Dana's music and kirtan, Ashana's light body meditations, and then when they're doing retreats, and they do normally when we're not in pandemic retreats all over the world, they include dance and movement processes. So it's really wonderful to have both of you with us. Welcome, Dana and Ashana.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Global Peace Tribe. We wanted to use our time to give you an experience of our sound and light body transmission, and we'll add some breath into it. And we wanted to do a transmission right here from Mother Maui, where we are right now, surrounded by humpback whales, breaching, giving birth, so much mana and vitality. We're going to transmit that to you through the sounds of Dana's incredible flutes and a little guided meditation.
Yeah. So we invite you to breathe the whole time, because I'm going to connect my breath with the breath of the divine. And so that comes through my flutes, but it isn't my breath. It is God's breath, let's say, the goddess breath that connects us all. And so we ask, like Scott asked, do we believe in higher consciousness, or is this our global extinction? I say miracles come through the power of our intention. And so we want to really invoke our radiance and our well-being and the power of the miraculous through these sounds and through this incredible invocation.
And let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Might try a silent ah on the inhale, a silent ha on the exhale, as we let go together, connecting our breath in a circular pattern without pauses, this holy breath. We can breathe through our mouths just for this process to allow oxygen, life force energy to fill our bodies, our lungs, our hearts, and to let go of all that is falling away. For we are in a global metamorphosis right now. We are each in our own chrysalis, and we are deconstructing what no longer serves us. We are laying it down as compost for Mother Gaia to alchemize into new life. And take another deep breath. And let's lay down what we need to release, our fears, any heaviness, any burdens. And let's drop our roots down into Mother Earth, feeling the sustenance, the power, the force of nature rising up through our feet as we connect with Gaia. Expanding our awareness to feel the entire earth spinning in the cosmos. And let's root in her ever unfolding, blossoming heart. And let's find that alchemical fire in the center of the earth and her holy waters. And let's bathe ourselves, cleanse ourselves, purify ourselves. Let us call on her nourishment to rise from her heart up through our roots. And let's breathe it all the way up, spiraling through the bottoms of your feet and legs. Let's cultivate through our root chakra, filling the chalice of our root chakra with abundance, life force energy, optimal health and vitality. Breathing it up into the second chakra, opening to creativity, to health and well-being in all of our beautiful cells, activating the DNA spiral of life. Let's breathe it up through the solar plexus. We are activating our vitality. And feel the energy of the land where you are coming in to surround you now. We are sending the vortex energy of Haleakala, the ocean of the Iao Valley. Drink in the mana and let's bring it into our hearts and touch our hearts. Where we are expanding and opening our hearts now. And we are alchemizing in the fire of our hearts, our grief, our sadness, our hurts, into the gold of our gifts, of our offerings, of why we are here at this time as midwives of humanity, of this planet. And breathe it up through your throat. Let the nose flute activate your throat. Your words, your contribution. Lift it up through the third eye. New visions, new possibilities, and see yourself healthy and well on every level. And through the crown, let's open our crowns to that divine downpouring of light. And I want you to reach up. Let the flute take you to that higher light that we are being guided by, that spiritual sun, that infinite radiance. Let's connect with that downpouring of light. We stand together in Haleakala Crater now, receiving the golden bowl of light, of Ho'oponopono, of forgiveness. We wash ourselves clean. And I invite you to bring your hands to your heart now, taking several more deep breaths. And I want you to hold a vision for yourself of your optimum health and vitality, well-being, and living your greatest life possible. And let's see the chrysalis begin to open. And let's see the butterfly emerging under the light of the full moon in this most auspicious time. And we'll take another big breath. And I invite you to embrace yourself, for it is through loving ourselves, all of ourselves, bringing ourselves all the way home to love, that we are liberated. And let's offer this nectar up, extending our arms upward and sending it all out into the light of creation. And then you might want to just bow down and give it to Mother Earth, into the foundation of your home, your sacred temple, your sanctuary. We are truly igniting the world. Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Anandama. May this health and this vitality and this prayer from Gaia be with you as you continue your journey.
May all beings be blessed by our sharing together. Aho.
Aho.
As we continue to just breathe in that beautiful experience. I'm going to go slow, but just want to pull up how you all can get more of Dana and Ashrana. And you just imagine what it must be like to do a full retreat with them in Maui or Bali or some of the amazing places that I see you guys doing your retreats. So looking forward to when we can do that again. And for now, thank you so much for just blessing us.
Thank you so much, everyone. We are doing this. We're rising together.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. All right. Well, we'll move on, but that was really lovely. Thank you. It is time for our Global Peace Tribe announcements. And we always want to take this moment to just thank a lot of people, because there's a lot that goes on to make this show happen. As I've said before, this show is really very much created by Jay Mayer, who I'm putting on, and by Jan Kaplan. So a big thank you to Jay and Jan for executive producing, associate producing our show. Sorry, that's my dog rattling her chains down there. She's getting excited because she's going to be one of the stars in a couple of weeks when we've got the animal show. So thank you, Jay and Jan. And you know, there's still time for people to come on into our Zoom room. You know, recognize that there are thousands of you watching on Facebook, and a lot of you have already come into our Zoom room. Come on in, you still can do that. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com and register. globalpeacetribe.com and register. And I do want to thank all the people that are watching on our different broadcast channels. Unify. We love Unify. They've been carrying us every Saturday night since the summer, since I think mid-July. And it's really increased our viewership. We've met so many of you through Unify, and I know many of you are watching right now that way. I want to thank Alan Steinfeld and New Realities TV. He's always consistent. He carries Saturday Night Alive, and he carries some of our ancillary shows like Straight Talk on Friday nights and the Sacred Sunday show. So thank you, Alan. Want to thank those of you who are watching on the Portal to Ascension YouTube channel. And those of you that are watching on Global Days of Unity, New Earth One, Earthwalk United, and our newest sponsor, our newest broadcast partner, the Enlightened World Network. We're really excited that they're carrying us now. So thank you very much to our new friends at the Enlightened World Network. And I'm gonna host Ruth, who's the woman who runs that, on my Sacred Sunday show in a few weeks. So you'll get a chance to learn more about her. And we're gonna also have her on Saturday Night Alive. So it's wonderful as our community continues to grow and grow and grow. And we're really excited about all the new shows that we're creating. Each show is really an amazing production. And to kind of introduce next week's show, here's another video, and again, created by Jay and Jan. So let's see what we're doing next week.
Light Touch welcomes you to next week's Saturday Night Alive. Feminine Leadership, Changing Our World, featuring an all-star cast with Jean Houston, Rianne Eisler, Kaya Ra, Andrew Harvey, Claire Zammit, Amakayla Gaston, Viraja Prima, with music and entertainment by Jennifer Barazan, Donna DeLore, Kim Tripp-Smith, and Ritual Dance with Reverend Ananda Ray.
And my partner, Deborah, is who's putting that show together. She's invited all the different guests. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Deborah, to tell us a little bit more about next week and what else we've got coming up this month.
Thank you, Scott. Yes, some of my favorite women, empowered women, are going to come on and really share feminine leadership changing our world. And what's also magical, we decided to do this show months and months ago and didn't realize it's the weekend celebrating International Women's Day, which is March 8th. So it's all synchronistic and it's being planned on the higher planes more than we even know. Everything's in alignment to be a really great show next week. And we've got 3 more shows in March. As we've shared with you, March 13th is understanding and communicating with our animal family. We've got incredible animal communicators that understand to communicate with our pets, and also people that work with the whales and the dolphins, great musicians. We have Carol Baskin from the Tiger King show on Netflix. So it's going to be really incredible. On March 20th, we always honor the equinox and solstice, and we are going to be activating the optimum timeline for our new world with, again, really incredible spiritual teachers and presenters. And March 27th, we are bringing back what is one of our more popular shows, Indigenous Wisdom, bridging cultures and prophecy together. And this is sponsored by Light Touch, as well as the animal show is sponsored by Light Touch. So really happy to bring that forward to you. We also are creating our season 5 Time to Thrive, and we'll share more about that next week. But we are going to be bringing back some of our favorite shows: Indigenous Wisdom, Divine Feminine, Awakening with Global Coherence, Making Contact with Our Galactic Family, Relationships, Summer Solstice. But we've got some new shows planned for you. We are going to be having a show on manifesting our natural prosperity. We're going to be celebrating Earth Day. We're going to have a show on near-death experience, Tales from the Beyond. We're going to have a really important show, Addiction and Recovery, Best Steps and Tools. Also, how brain fitness optimizes our entire body. And I want to thank everyone for all your donations, because that's what inspires us and gives us the green love to go forward and create these shows for you. So thank you for your donations when you sign up and register, and also for your donations to GoFundMe. If any of you out there still want to help us create the new shows, your green love is so appreciated, and we put that right into the shows to create the quality for you. I'm going to put our GoFundMe in the chat rooms so that you can ping us some green love, especially if you're on the show for free for whatever reason, because we do put this show out for free, and we rely on your donations to make it happen. So I'm going to put the GoFundMe out there, and it's always in our email that comes to you, so you can share your green love that way as well. So thank you so much. And one thing we are looking for to create in our team is a marketing person that's really well versed in social media and other kinds of marketing. So if that's your superpower, you're welcome to contact us. I'll put our contact info in the chat rooms so that you can connect with us and let us know how you can help us with that. And again, you can always connect with us by email. If you get our email, just ping us back. So thank you so much for all your support. Thank you to our whole team, our sponsors that are making this happen. It's really an amazing project that we feel so inspired to share with you during these very challenging but extremely evolutionary times. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Deborah. Well, still have a lot of wonderful show ahead of us. So I'm going to pop on another video to just kind of enjoy the magic of light touch. And while we're watching the video, maybe doing some light touch or doing some breath, since breath is such a big part of our show. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this. I think you will. It's really a lot of fun.
Returning to the one. Love is the key. It's not a fantasy. Love's for you and me. Love's reality. You got to fly like an eagle. Fly across the sky. Got to fly like an eagle till the end of time. Till
All right, as we all are flying like eagles. All right. Well, we get to bring Andrea Burke back. And this is her third time being on the show tonight, third appearance, and also actually the third time she's been on Saturday Night Live. It's been really wonderful getting to know you more fully, Andrea. And of course, what we're going to do in a moment is learn a little bit more about you as the Sonic Butterfly. So tell us a little bit about Sonic Butterfly and the video where we're about to see.
Well, Scott, I'm having a really profound moment right now, listening to Deepak speak about emergence. Sonic Butterfly is my design of long string harp, where it is an instrument of transformation with strings that are at minimum 60 feet long. And I can transform architecture and natural environments, as well as theaters, into musical instruments. And the reason why Deepak talking about emergence has just really hit me in this profound way is that I'm developing a new show right now called Emergence. I recognize, as Ashana was talking about, and that it is time for us to come out of our cocoons, that we are close to that emergence. And as Deepak was talking about the state of things and what is necessary now for us to return to that global community, I feel as if right now what has taken place during the pandemic is that we have been placed in our silos. We have been separated from one another individually within our family units, as well as on a global scale. We've had the opportunity to utilize modern technology to communicate, but as we look at even how vaccines are coming out into the world, each country must do it themselves. And even here in the United States, state by state, community by community. And so as we begin to come back out into the world, as we emerge from our cocoons, the opportunity to return to that global community, to reconnect, is of utmost importance, I know, to my spirit and to my soul as an artist. And so I have this new idea for this show, which happens to be called Emergence. And it is to take Sonic Butterfly to, at minimum, 7 countries around the world and string up the Sonic Butterfly, the long string harp, up to historic landmarks or sacred spaces that represent those various locations around the world. And then to invite up the musicians, the drummers, the singers, the special instruments of that culture, and bring us all together, as well as the dancers and the children, and bring us all up on stage so that Sonic Butterfly can create a bridge to that historic landmark or sacred place. And then we bring that culture forth by utilizing Sonic Butterfly as that bridge and that instrument of communicating that emergence. After I've gone to each location, and let me tell you, all of you who are listening right now, I'm looking for those locations and those producers and those musicians who want to partner with me on this. And as that happens, once we've completed that, where I'm bringing photographer and filmmakers so that we can shoot video and photographs. And once we've gone to each of these locations, I'll come back to the United States and tour the performing arts centers and bring this show back home so that we can feel that connection and we can feel that global experience and share within it here in our own home. And my hope is to bring each of those videos to everyone through YouTube, through a YouTube channel, through great things like Saturday Night Alive, who want to share what's taking place and really share this emergence, reconnect us through different places in the world, the different artists and communicators, and bring it all together. And so Scott's going to share with you a video from just before the pandemic happened, when I was in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and I had strung a beautiful cathedral in downtown Sao Paulo, Brazil. And you'll get to see the strings stretching all the way out. And you'll get to see Sonic Butterfly outside of my cocoon. Out in the world, I did 20 shows.
Wow.
It was quite extraordinary. And this is just a brief little look at what that was, set to some degree.
That is so amazing what you do. And Deborah and I have already talked about how we really want to have Saturday Night Alive every week, kind of showing, this week Andrea was in Israel and she was in Ethiopia, or wherever it is. So as you do your tour, we definitely want to kind of track it and share some of those highlights. That'll be really, really, really fun. But in the meanwhile, there are wonderful ways you can connect with her. And I noticed right away, actually, Andrea, people were asking in the chat box how to reach you, about connecting you with places around the world. So there's a lot of ways to connect on Instagram, on Facebook, pretty much Sonic Butterfly on Instagram, Sonic Butterfly Productions on Facebook. And you're also a yoga teacher. And do you do online classes for people, Andrea?
Yes, I do. I do a Zoom class weekly, every Thursday at 10:30 Pacific time. And it's a donation-based class, so people can join me anytime you want. And I've put it in the chat box, and it's also on that slide. So
great.
Thank you. And I create practices. So if you want to have a private Zoom class, we can even video your practice and design it specifically for you. That's my specialty.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you for having me back again, Scott and Deborah. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Great.
Namaste, everyone.
We'll see you again soon.
Yes.
All right. And I think it's time for some more magic. Deborah, what's up next?
Definitely. We get to hear again from Andrew Lee, who's coming to us from Malaysia. He's an internationally known illusionist and mentalist. And he actually was also on Britain's Got Talent and took social media by storm after he was on there. So happy to see your next act, Andrew.
Thank you so much, Deborah. And thank you, everyone, again. It's been such a pleasure being here with all of you, sharing the magic of connection. Well, and of course, thank you, Global Peace Tribe, for having me. And before we end this next trick, I'd like to say that magic has brought me to many places. And I've met some wonderful people like you today, virtually. As life goes on, new people appear in our lives, and sometimes people disappear. And we never know when we would see each other again, especially during times like this. But what if there was a way to stay connected? And what if we could always experience this gift of friendship? Well, this next piece is my deepest wish and my deepest expression for us to stay connected. I hope it connects with you. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It's such a great pleasure being here again, and I hope we all stay connected during this time. Thank you very much.
Two things. I'm going to go to gallery view. So everybody just be aware that you are on camera, because so many of our people watching are going, wow. I mean, Jan and Jerry and Jay and Deborah has just been amazing. So that is really, really something. I'll put the spotlight back on you, Andrew. This is your first time on the show, and I sure want you to come back. You're just terrific. Really terrific.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Scott. Thank you again.
Yeah, and people, you can get much more by going to his website. It's his name, Andrew Lee Magic, ANDREW, Andrew Lee, LEE, Magic, MAGIC.com. And wow, I mean, you blew me away. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you, Jay, for putting together that promotion for what's coming up later on tonight. I mean, it's just such a full show. Wow. And I get to introduce a longtime friend of mine. Just like Ishana and Dana are longtime friends, and Lori Grace, who we're going to see in a little bit, is a longtime friend. This is also another longtime friend, and this is Hyla Cass. Hyla is an extraordinary and wonderful, wonderful healer who has been always, as long as I've known her, she's always been on the cutting edge of health and wellness. I can always remember I'd see her at a party. It's like, okay, Hyla, what's the latest? You know, what's the latest and the greatest? And Hyla was the one who was always kind of on top of that. So when we were putting the show together, it was like, okay, well, we got to have Hyla on it. So I'll tell you a little bit more about her beyond my own personal experience. She really is a recognized pioneer in holistic medicine and psychiatry, and she's the author of several popular books. Hyla specializes in helping people to enhance their mind and their mood, to overcome addiction, and to avoid psychiatric medications using targeted nutrients. Her latest edition is hemp oil extract, also known as CBD, which provides balance to your system. So Hyla, thank you for being on the show, and please take it away.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. Really appreciate it. I love the show. And I also want to give a shout out to my late father, Dr. Hyla Cass, who kind of started it all for me. He practiced family medicine from our home in Toronto, and he really demonstrated what a doctor and a healer should be. So that was so inspiring to me. And then he actively encouraged me to go to medical school. And this is at a time when there were not a lot of women doing it. So thanks, Dad. Then early on in my practice of psychiatry, I realized that the medications weren't really doing it. They're not that effective. They have a lot of side effects. And once you're on them, they may not be working, but you still have a lot of trouble getting off them because they produce brain changes. So it's a really big deal. I'd say be very careful before going on a medication and know what you're getting into. Also, if you're already on a medication, please don't go off it suddenly. You need to taper and slowly under medical supervision. So instead of medication, I began to incorporate all kinds of the things that we're all familiar with: spiritual work, meditation, trauma work, and other ways to balance the body like diet and nutrition. I discovered what Linus Pauling called orthomolecular psychiatry, which means all the molecules in the right place. So this is so cool that when we provide the raw materials, the right raw materials in the form of nutrients that will help make our brains chemical messengers called neurotransmitters, the body knows what to do with it. They work with our chemistry to give us just what we need, and they actually work better and faster than the drugs do. So we have within us our own magical pharmacy. It's really quite a miracle. And most recent addition to my medicine bag is what we commonly call CBD, properly called hemp oil extract, because the hemp plant contains many cannabinoids, probably over 100 cannabinoids, as well as terpenes and some other components that are healing. But the ones that we're most familiar with out of the cannabis plant are CBD and THC. So we're all familiar with THC. It's what makes you high. And that's what's the plant is bred to give you more THC and more of a high, but that's not what we're dealing with here. We're talking about the hemp plant, which is bred to have less than 0.3% THC, very little, just a trace of THC, and mostly CBD and maybe a smattering of some of the other cannabinoids and terpenes. And you may have been hearing a lot of things about, good qualities and effects of CBD and wondering, is this for real? We hear it being good for anxiety, depression, sleep problems, PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder, which we know is really hard to treat and doesn't respond well to medication. Social anxiety, anxiety giving speeches. More people are afraid of giving speeches than are afraid of death. That's kind of scary. Addiction, post-concussion syndrome, and even good for boosting your immune system. So like one little plant derivative doing all that, how could that be? Is this a placebo effect? No, actually, all of these are research backed, and I've actually reviewed the literature, many hundreds of papers on all of this. So we have proof that it works. And how does it work? Well, it's part of our inner pharmacy, because inside us, we are making anandamide. Anandamide is an endocannabinoid, which means inner cannabinoid, and it comes from the word ananda, meaning bliss in Sanskrit. So we're making this anandamide as well as 2-AG, which is another endocannabinoid, and some people don't make enough of it. If you don't make enough of it, you have a deficiency syndrome, endocannabinoid deficiency syndrome. Say that really fast a few times. And when you have that, you're going to be prone to being more sensitive to pain. You may get migraines, depression, other mood problems, lowered immunity, just all the things that we know CBD works for. So the good news is that when we can actually take CBD, and it is a phytocannabinoid, so it's a cannabinoid that's made by nature that matches the endocannabinoid that we're making. So if we don't have enough, we can fill it up with this external or phytocannabinoid. So our inner pharmacy knows exactly what to do with it. And it's quite remarkable. And it works fast. I'm like, let me give you an example. I think that's always easier to explain it that way. Not long ago, I had a young man in my office. He was a 20-year-old who was dragged there by his mom. You can imagine a 20-year-old boy being dragged because he was not going to see a psychiatrist. And his problem was he had tremendous anxiety and had trouble sleeping. And he wouldn't look at me, and he didn't want to be there. And I said, would you be interested in taking some supplements? No, they don't work. Okay. Would you be willing to take some CBD? Yeah, okay. So I pull out my trusty bottle, took a dropper full, dropped it under his tongue, and went and continued talking to his mom, who was giving me some history, and we were talking, and I kind of ignored him for a while. And after about 10 minutes, I came back and I said, so how you feeling? And he looked a little startled. He said, oh, wow, I feel really good. I'm relaxed. I mean, I haven't felt this good in a really long time. And he was looking at me. He was connecting with me. He was talking to me. This is somebody who was like that before, and here he was. So what a transformation in a very short time. So we now had what looked like a therapeutic alliance. We could start working together. So that's how quickly and how well it was working for his anxiety and his ability to connect. So that's one use or one story. Another one is I was at a big trade show, at the Natural Products Expo, and a friend of mine was there, and he had sciatica, and he had to walk the floor and was not looking forward to it because he was going to be in a lot of pain, or he'd have to take these opioids that he had for a prescription. Didn't want to because he didn't want to cloud up his brain because he had to think straight. He was at a convention. So I asked him if he'd heard of CBD. He knew about it, but he'd never tried it. So again, I pulled out my trusty bottle, gave him some, and the first dropperful helped a little bit, maybe 30, 40%. And 10 minutes later, I gave him some more. And we worked it out in a very short time how many dropperfuls he needed. I gave him the rest of the bottle. I always have a spare with me. And he took it for the rest of the day. Checked in with him at the end of the day. He'd been great. He was able to take it throughout the day. It took care of the pain. He didn't need to take his opioids. So he was able to think clearly and feel better. And not only that, it's, some of these products like the opiates don't really treat the pain, they mask the pain. So it doesn't have a healing power to it. Whereas when you take CBD or hemp oil extract, it's an anti-inflammatory that's actually reducing the inflammation that is causing the pain. So you have some real healing ability there. So those are two examples of how to use them. There are many more. And you may want to know, how do you dose it? And that's very individual. And I'm not withholding. People say, well, how much should I take? I said, you got to take as much as you need. And it just depends on your endocannabinoid system. And that's all I can tell you. You start low and slow, and you very gradually build up until you find your specific dose. Another question I get is, are there any side effects? Well, you can, for example, some people get a dry mouth, some people get diarrhea. Some people find it is more, makes them a little drowsy, other people more activated, but it may depend on what time of day they're taking it and how much they're taking. So that you have to experiment with. I've had people who thought they were taking it for sleep and they stayed up for like hours that night. I've had other people who tried to take it for focus during the day and they got too sleepy. So you have to know what your right dose is for what time of day, because as I said, it's very individual. And another question is, if you are on medication, what can you do? Is there a problem with interactions? There's possibly in theory, but if you're taking under 100 milligrams, generally not a problem. And I talk about it more in my ebook, The Magic of CBD. So I developed my own CBD product because I wanted to have control over it. So what I did was I selected an organic brand. It was grown organically. Hemp is a concentrator. So if it's grown in soil that's had pesticides, fertilizers, any kind of contaminants, they're going to go into the plant and you're going to ingest them. You don't want that. So you want it organically grown. Then it's extracted. It's taken to the lab nearby, extracted with distillation, and then mixed up into the particular formula that I like, which is MCT base, which is a light base, as opposed to hemp oil, which is a little thick and heavy and tastes a little grassy, and I don't like it. So I made it to my own taste. I also added beta-caryophyllene, which is another potent cannabinoid, so that boosts its effect. And I also added a yummy lemon flavor made from an organic essential oil. So that made the taste really nice. People comment on that. Wow, this doesn't taste like all the others. I said, no, it's on purpose. So that's my story. That's my product. You'll find it on my website. And I'm very happy to share this with you.
Wow, Hyla, it's so great to have you on the show. And you just present this so beautifully. Somebody did ask if there's an expiration. She has a hemp oil, CBD oil, but there was no expiration date on it, and wanted to know what the story is on how long it lasts.
It can last a few years. I wouldn't worry about it. It's an oil, so if the oil smells rancid, that's a clue. Mm-hmm. But it keeps pretty well.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
But you really should have an expiration date on mine have an expiration date.
So the moral of the story is always from now on, get your CBD oil from Hyla. Come on,
Yay, yes.
She knows how to make it taste great. And you know what's really nice is she's offering a special discount code. So what you want to do is go to cassmd.com /magic of CBD. I'm going to leave this up for a few minutes so you can really kind of lock it in. And here's the deal. She's offering a discount code for all of us. The discount code is SNA, Saturday Night Alive, 15. SNA 15. And that discount code lasts until midnight on March 1st. You know, I always wondered, does that mean it's midnight between Sunday and Monday or midnight between Monday and Tuesday?
Great question. It's Monday night.
Okay, Monday night. So you got a couple days, but do it now. You know, go ahead, go order, and 15% off. And really, I've known Hyla for a very, very long time. She's the real deal. And it's great to have you on the show, Hyla.
Thank you. By the way, there's also the free ebook.
The free ebook.
It's also on there. If you can take a picture of the download link, that would be good, or somebody could put it in chat.
Yeah, Deborah has been putting that in the chat box, but I'll leave this up for a few more moments, people. So yeah, take a photo so you can get that download link for her free ebook, all about the magic of CBD. Hyla, thank you. I really appreciate just your incredible service to our world, to our community, how wonderfully you express yourself. It's like, oh, that's right. She's a great speaker. So it's really good to have you on the show. Thank you.
What a pleasure. Thank you so much, Scott. And all your support team. It's a great show, and thank you. I'm grateful.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. See you soon. All right. Well, I think it's time for another video. Short one. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's, of course, a light touch video. And Deborah, tell us who's up next.
I get to introduce another amazing woman, Lori Grace. Lori's passion is to inspire people to live a greener life, and she does that through numerous businesses, organizations, ongoing projects that supports this mission. But she also has a deep passion for health, especially longevity, brain health, and much more. She runs the nonprofit organization, the Sunrise Center, that has an office in Corte Madera, California. She has founded and manages an amazing center, Haleakua Garden Farm and Organic Farm Retreat Center in Maui. She has other projects, including election integrity work, Save Our Bay, Save Our Ocean. I consider her a wonder woman for these times with all she does and all she supports. And she created a video for us to share with us about this very important theme of optimizing our health. So Scott, can you share that video?
Absolutely. Here we go.
I hope it's good. I never got to see it. So when I ask people what body organ are they most afraid of deteriorating as they grow older, I often hear my brain. That seems to be the most precious of all the organs that we so want to preserve. And as we get older, there can be tendencies for senior moments. It's even written into our culture where, people walk into another room and, oh my God, I forgot what I came in here for, or remembering names and faces, or even driving somewhere and where is it I'm going? These kinds of things. And a lot of people don't want to talk about this but feel scared. So I wanted to do a show, which and sponsor a show, which is going to happen on Saturday Night Live on brain fitness, and that's on June 3rd. And I want to let you know, though, that brain fitness is really integrally related to whole body fitness. It's every part of us is related to how our brain and in what way is our brain healthy. So I wanted to go over that. And this includes our cardiovascular system, the amount of pesticides and toxic metals we have in our body, the presence of mold in our body, which you can't just look at your body and say, oh, there's no mold. Our hormone balance, our level of depression and anxiety, the quality of our social life, the quality of our sleep, and our genomic profile, which means what kind of genes do we have? And my discovery around brain fitness came when a doctor tested me without my consent for the gene for late onset Alzheimer's, having heard that my father had dementia. And much to my shock, I found that I had one gene, APOE4, for late onset Alzheimer's, which sets out at about age 75 and moves on. And I was really frightened when I heard this. So anyway, I started focusing and studying as much as I could on and changing my lifestyle to make sure that I don't start having this. And I have to say, to this end, I'm doing very well, and I don't have what would be called senior moments, as far as I can tell. But in order to make that happen, I had to commit to a lot of things. And one thing I want to say is this particular gene, APOE4, also hurts our cardiovascular system. It helps create strokes and heart attacks. So I knew that I had to really focus on my cardiovascular system. I do want to say that my mother didn't have any APOE4 gene, and she was lucid until 3 days before she died at 96 3/4. So I've really come to see the importance of our gene profile and what we can do to prevent gene expression. So anyway, by the way, I just want to say that if you're interested in knowing whether you have this gene, you can go to lifeextension.com and order the gene test. And then that's going to help you know where to go. So anyway, so I have so far been successful at staving off my any kind of dementia, but it's taken commitment on my side. For example, for my cardiovascular fitness, and I do have some low-grade high blood pressure. I do take medication, and that's another part of this gene. I work out, I do cardio workouts 5 days a week. And I also do yoga and strength training, because I have to have a body really in shape in order to do cardio. And otherwise I could get joint problems or injuries. So that's one thing. Also, a very important thing in staving off any kind of dementia is making sure that we don't have any sleep apnea, which I did. And so I finally surrendered to using a CPAP machine, and I'm much better. I also, because injuries are harder for someone like myself to heal from, I drive very carefully, And if I go hiking, I use poles. And with my coach, I practice balance exercises so that I'm not going to be, you know, one of the many women who slip and fall, hopefully, and balance. Our proprioceptive capacity goes down as we get older. So another thing that I also learned starting by reading a book called Menopause in Your Mind was that our mental acuity as women goes down most frequently because menopause, our ovaries don't produce as much estrogen. In fact, they don't produce hardly any. And we are having to rely on the conversion of testosterone to estrogen. So I went to a really good doctor who might be on the show in June 3rd. And I now take estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. And I also changed my diet because another thing about developing dementia is that unless we're eating a lot of green leafy vegetables and high fiber, low sugar fruits like berries and things, we can raise our inflammation level in our body. And Alzheimer's has been called diabetes type 3. That's a nickname for it. And so doing the diet is very important in terms of reducing the risk of dementia. And so much of this is different from our culture. You know, our standard American diet, also known in health conferences as the SAD diet, is filled with ways to enhance inflammation in our body. Alcohol does it as well. And so the other thing is another thing that I read was that microorganisms that live in our, that we can find in the autopsy of people with Alzheimer's, we can find germs that lived in our mouth that created gum disease and traveled up into the brain. And so oral care also becomes terribly important. So these are a lot of things to do. And I might add that using algae oil or fish oil is also good for reducing inflammation. So there's so many different things that we can do to reduce our chances of getting any kind of dementia. And so anyway, these I want to discuss in much more detail myself in a in-person meeting May 3rd in Corte Madera, the Sunrise Center. I again want to invite you to come to a very entertaining show, you know, where different experts will talk about this issue of brain fitness and whole body fitness. And we'll have wonderful musicians, and that's all on June 3rd. So with that, I really hope that you come in and join us on June 3rd at Saturday Night Alive.
Well, thank you, Lori Grace. And actually, the real live Lori is with us, but she wanted us to show the video. So hi, Lori.
Hi.
How is it watching yourself?
Oh, it's okay. I found myself wishing I had practiced longer to say what I was saying and not using as many ahs. And I didn't have that much time to work on it, but I got the basic points across. Jay and Jan felt that it was really enrolling, so I went with that. I would say it's less enrolling for me watching it, but I also know that when I am in front of an audience, that I'm very responsive and alive, and I don't and ah, and you know, I know it's going to be good on May 3rd.
Absolutely. Well, both May 3rd live in Corte Madera for those of you in the Bay Area, and then the following month, June 3rd, is when We're going to have an entire show dedicated to whole body fitness, brain fitness. Lori is already working on bringing in some wonderful speakers and teachers. And of course, we'll always have wonderful musicians and Lori herself. So thank you, Lori, for your support. Welcome aboard. And many of you met Lori's sister, Wendy, last week. Remember Wendy did that beautiful poem. And Wendy is also one of our sponsors. So thank you, Lori. And we will talk to you soon.
Thank
All
you.
right. Well, I do believe that Giselle is with us. So in a moment, we're going to meet Giselle. You heard some of her music. And just a reminder to mute yourself, Lori. There we go. It was cute when just at the beginning of the video, I heard Lori saying, I haven't even said myself, I hope it's good. It was good, Lori. It was good. So anyway, before we bring on Giselle, Jay Mayer, who you all know is kind of the light touch guy, but he also really recorded a beautiful video of himself talking about a practice that he does and that many of us now do in light touch called the Twilight Meditation. Let's learn about that and then we'll meet Giselle. Whoops, we just saw that. There's so many videos today. It's like an all-time record of how many videos we're showing. So here we go with Jay Mayer talking about the Twilight Meditation. And thank you for your patience, everybody. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Jay Mayer. Wanted to talk to you about a technique that I found to be invaluable in my personal path, spiritual wellness, manifesting, transformation, and I call it twilight meditations. And a twilight meditation is when you go to sleep at night. As soon as your head hits the pillow, you're in twilight. And when you go to sleep at night, the subconscious is really receptive to suggestions. So I recommend when you're going to sleep at night, for instance, one of our meditations is look and feel your very best. So you're going to sleep, I'm looking and feeling my very best. And you go to sleep. And when you wake, and believe it. And when you wake up in the morning, first thought, even before you get out of bed, I'm looking and feeling my very best. And it's very powerful because the subconscious doesn't know you're tricking it. You might also say something like, thank you for exponential financial blessings and good fortune. These are very powerful words to sow seeds into your subconscious with. And that's what the Twilight Meditation is all about. It's about getting the subconscious to change, to help you. It doesn't know that you're tricking it. You believe that the money's already in the bank. This is very powerful. And I recommended doing it. If you wake up, you take a restroom break in the middle of the night, come back in, you're in twilight when you're just half asleep, half awake. Those are the times that I like to do light touch, meaning I make a connection with the sheets that are touching my body, or barely touching. There's a little tingle. So you feel that tingle and you go, thank you for blessing my partner. Whatever's important to you. Thank you for great health. Thank you. This is examples of the Twilight Meditation that we do at Light Touch, and it's very powerful. It's a very great way to improve your health, improve your finances, improve your life. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Whoops, we should put the spotlight there. Thank you. I am noticing one of our regulars, George, said, hey, great idea, I'm gonna try that. And I suggest to all of us, all these different suggestions, whether it's twilight meditation, light touch, CBD oil, all the wonderful suggestions that Lori Grace provided us, these are tools for optimizing our health. All right, I think that Giselle is with us. She is, I see her. And so welcome, Giselle. And I just need you to unmute yourself.
Hello, do you hear me?
Hello, how are you?
Hi, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we showed one of your videos, and in a couple minutes, I'm going to show the Bali video that you did. Really appreciate you taking the time to record that video for us with your guitar player and beautiful setting. And you just did a concert in Florida, yeah?
I've had a concert actually every weekend this month. It's been high season for me, quite hot. So feeling quite blessed to have it all kind of flowing again after a year of not much performance, obviously, like many of us with COVID.
Yeah.
All my concerts on my tour last year was canceled, so now things seem to be little by little opening up, a little bit differently, but good different.
Yeah.
Appreciating the more intimate settings as well from the bigger large crowds. It's nice.
Right. Oh, good. Well, it's a blessing to have you with us, and we've really enjoyed. You have such an exquisite combination of instrumentation that you use, the way you combine different instruments in your voice, and we'll see in a moment with the Bali video. Tell us just a little bit about yourself, since this is the first time you've been on our show. We have a lot of musical guests. We usually have 3 or 4 musicians per show, but this is your first time, so this is a chance for our audience to get to know you a little bit. So tell us a little bit about your background and kind of what brought you to this time in your life.
Thank you so much. Well, so I would try to say it in like a short version. So I have been, as far as like my musical career, I've been studying music. I've been a musician since I'm about 4 years old, maybe even 3. As soon as I could speak, I was already singing.
Wow.
And then as soon as I was in school, I was in the programs that were related to music and had shown something natural with it. Actually, music kind of runs in my family. I've had other musicians in the family as well, and even my older brother, he's a musician too, and we went to school together for music, and he's still doing music. He's actually a conductor now of opera, and I also studied classical music. So I studied classical music all the way up to receiving a master's degree in music performance. And after I graduated, actually, just before I graduated, my last year of my master's program, I studied mostly, I'm from Miami. My family's background is Nicaraguan. So as far as like my native indigenous roots, they're rooted in what are known as Mayan and Mexica. So that's also why I look like this, and very much related to the kind of music I do today. But before I was connected more with, I guess you could say, my European roots, which I do have, with the classical music. Towards the end of my master's, I started feeling called to try other type of music that was different, more along the realm of what I guess you would call world and electronic music. And once I graduated, I started experimenting. And around the same time, I ended up leaving New York, where I had done my master's, and coming back to Miami to find a completely new Miami, at least for me, a new experience. And I ended up finding plant medicine, or you could say plant medicine found me. We found each other.
Beautiful.
And changed my life completely, redirected everything. So I started working with some of these master plants. You might have heard of peyote, ayahuasca, San Pedro, and also the medicine of the sweat lodge. So while I was doing this work and my own personal healing work, I started to remember. It's a lot of what these plants do is help us remember. And so that's why everything was redirected. I started to remember my roots and my connection to the earth. And the first couple of years, I honestly was just there doing my work, healing, shedding, relearning. And then the songs came. I actually had stopped singing for about 10 years. I was just playing the flute, and I had created this story in my head that I couldn't really sing, or I wasn't good enough to. I actually I think I didn't know what to sing, because when I was in school at that time, the only options that I was presented with were opera or like musical theater, and I didn't resonate with either of those. So I ended up just kind of quitting. I think if I had known better at that time, I might have studied jazz vocals, because I resonated more with that, but that wasn't presented to me as an option. So I just dropped it and created this story that I couldn't sing, which I know sounds silly now, because I not only do I sing, but now I actually even give vocal coaching, which still blows my mind. The medicine wanted me to start singing again. So the reason why I sing today is because of the medicines. So grateful to them. And once I started singing, then actual songs of my own started to come, and channeling of medicine was bringing me sacred songs, like what we call ícaros or chants. And so I've been working deeply in these ways outside of, what you see on Instagram or any of that. There's a lot of work that I do that's just not filmable or any of this. That's very sacred and private, but very much in service to these plants, because they have been giving me everything. And I consider my life to be very blessed because of them. So they're fueling me with a lot of music. And after a year of not performing and challenges like many of us, I feel now ready to record. I mean, probably even 2 new albums. I have so much music pouring out of me because I had a chance to just go deeper with the medicine, since there wasn't much travel happening. So I've developed the name Giselle World. I guess you could say came from the medicine as well. I had a different artist name before, but as I was connecting to the world through the medicine and traveling around doing ceremonies, it just became something natural. And I've been sharing this music in many places, really all over the world, from Miami to Australia to Ibiza to Mexico, Bali, many places. And I'm just so grateful that people resonate with what's coming through, because it's really not about me. It's about bringing awareness to the water and to the earth. And so that's what I've become dedicated to. I've also been using my voice to help bring awareness to the importance of assisting in indigenous rights, that the indigenous people get their rights restored to protect their land and to have clean water and to perform their rituals, their sacred practices that carry so much wisdom that we all need to connect to and start incorporating, so that we can have fewer of these crazy forest fires and pollution in the water and these oil spills. And actually, there are so many solutions that are found in just going back to the basics, going back to the roots. So this is really what I'm wanting to do with my music, and help people connect back to themselves, really. So it's I'm working all the time.
Well, Giselle, it's really beautiful to meet you, and I love how you have integrated your art, your music, with the love of the earth, love of our people, and honoring indigenous cultures and children. So to get an idea of that, wait until you all see this beautiful video that Giselle has created. there's such a beautiful reverence for nature that shows up in that video. You know, you can just really feel your passion for nature and the water, just the beauty of the water. It's really quite lovely. Thank you. We're going to actually close our show tonight with the final song that Giselle recorded for us. But to learn more about Giselle, it's giselle.world. That's her website. It's a beautiful website. There's a lot that you can learn about her and find out more about her music. And again, it's her name, GISELLE.world. And that's her website, her name and her website. So thank you so much, Giselle. It's really nice to meet you. If you stick around, we'll talk to you a little bit more before your last song. If you've got, I know it's also late for you. It's 11:46 in East Coast where you are. So no pressure, but if you decide to stay with us, we are going to show one more of your videos. All right, it is time for Global Peace Tribe Recommends. And I'm sorry, Jay, but this is one video I'm just not going to pull up right now. But thank you, Jay, for all the videos you provided to us tonight. And we're really enjoying this part of the show where we get to introduce you, our audience, to some of the other wonderful things that are going on in the world. And to start us off, here's my partner, Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. And one thing I want to share with you is one of our more favorite speakers, Marianne Williamson, is going to do a workshop. And this is going to be March 19th and 20th on relationships. She's going to be exploring a lot of what is affecting our relationships now. How do we make sure that intimacy doesn't suffer from either too much or too little physical closeness during the pandemic? How do we dismantle our mechanisms of separation? As you know, as you walk by people, you know, people kind of split up. How do we get back to intimacy? How do we build our relationships again? How do we repair what needs to be repaired in our relationship? And how can a time of isolation lead to a flowering of human relationships? Well, Marianne Williamson is a master on so many things, and I think this is a really important topic. It'll be March 19th and 20th. It will be virtual, and I'm going to be posting the link in the chat room, and we'll have it in our emails that we send to you during the week as well. So we'll have all this information in there. So please check it out.
Great. Thank you, Deborah. Well, one of my absolute favorite speakers, teachers of all time is Andrew Harvey. I've been following him for many, many, many years, listening to him speak occasionally at Whole Life Expo, read his books. He literally coined the phrase sacred activism. Boy, I had a senior moment. What do I need to do, Lori, to stop those senior moments from happening? I just had one. He coined the phrase sacred activism. And right away, we had him on our show. And I was so delighted to have him on the show. And he's been on a few times now. And so we decided we wanted to start branching out into longer workshops. Because obviously, you know, you only get 8 minutes of Hyla Cass or 10 minutes of Lori Grace or 6 minutes of this person. And all of these people have so much to offer. So we're very excited to announce that Saturday Night Alive is going to start going more and more into providing longer events with some of our favorite speakers and people. And so the first one we've chosen is Andrew Harvey. So put it in your books, March 14th. He's going to do a day with us on radical regeneration. This man has written 41 books. He's collaborated with people such as the Dalai Lama. This is his newest book. And I'll give you a little taste of what it's all about in a moment. But just put that day down, March 14th. And then make sure we have your email address. Another reason why it's really important to register with us so that we do have your email address. And to tell you a little bit more about what's going to happen on the 14th, here's a quick video snippet with Andrew.
My name is Andrew Harvey, and on March the 14th, I will be presenting with Scott and his crew a fabulous day dedicated to the new book that I've written with Carolyn Baker called Radical Regeneration. In the morning, for 2 hours, I will lay out the radical vision that is exposed in that book of the great death that's happening in our global dark night and the extraordinary promise of birth that it holds. I believe that the dark night that we are in is the birth canal of a new embodied divine humanity. And I will lay out that belief in precise ways that will both warn you and galvanize you. Then in the afternoon, I will offer the vision that I have of radical intimacy with all things and the challenge to be noble in our time, and offer practices that can sustain both that level of intimacy with all things and strengthen that nobility that leads us forward into becoming sacred activists and birthers and warrior midwives of a new world.
Wow. I mean, can you just enjoy how passionate this man is? He is so dynamic and so passionate. Obviously, I'm a big fan. So much so that tomorrow I'm dedicating my Sacred Sunday show to Andrew. So if you're wanting to get a better sense of who this man is, please join me tomorrow morning. And you know, I do this show every day, every Sunday, the Sacred Sunday show. And I usually feature people that you've seen on Saturday Night Alive. And tomorrow it's going to be all about Andrew Harvey. You can watch live on Facebook on any of the channels you're watching on right now, probably. Or come on into the Zoom room. And Deborah's putting that link in right now, or you can see it on this poster, the Zoom room. I will also post it on my profile page on Facebook. So would love to have you join us tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the morning, get to know Andrew, see what his wisdom's all about, and then come be part of a private, intimate group where we're going to really go deep with Andrew on March 14th. So looking forward to hopefully having you join us at that time. All right, we are in the home stretch, and we've got something really special planned. We're going to try something we've never done before. So we want to kind of create an opportunity for all of you to participate. And we've still got over 300 people in the Zoom room, thousands watching on Facebook. And so another video just to kind of set up what's about to happen next. But stick around and get ready to participate in a very fun way. You'll see what I'm talking about in a moment. You see, we're about to bring on Yuval Ron, and this is going to give you an idea of some of the people he collaborates with.
Okay, cool. So this kind of more, it's such a great occasion to be in the studio with Somnath Roy, the great percussionist from India. And his joyful rhythms really, really drive the beat for this track, which is called Vicarious Joy. Pandit Nayan Ghosh from India is one of the greatest living sitar masters, and I love working with him. I love having Deva Premal sing with us on this track. She's one of the greatest mantra singers in the world, and the mantra that she's singing on this song, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, is a mantra that I've been chanting for 20 years in my yoga practice. And it's a central practice to condition our mind to always think about the happiness of the other, who is really us. I hope this music will make you dance. I hope it will make you celebrate joy and cultivate the mindset of vicarious joy, mudita.
So we had Yuval on the show earlier, and you might remember he did a beautiful job with us, and he had this wonderful idea of us collaborating. And so welcome, Yuval. And here you are, you've collaborated with all sorts of amazing people, and tonight you're going to collaborate with us.
Yes, I can't wait. Thank you very much for bringing me on the show. And what I'd like to share with you tonight is a simple mantra, which is very profound. It's about joy, and it's about vicarious joy. This is the name of this track from my album, 4 Divine States of Mind. And it's called Mudita in Sanskrit, and it's called in English, vicarious joy. The importance of the happiness of others, because if others are happy, we will be happy, because we are all one. So these very few words that I'm going to teach you right now, we're going to chant. I'm going to teach you how to sing it. It's very simple. And then we will sing with Deva Premal in that style of call and answer, which we call kirtan. So here we go. Here's the song. We're going to learn it right now. And Scott, if you could put the words on the screen so we can see. So it's Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. This is a joy mantra. What it means is may all beings be happy, and may my thoughts, words, and action contribute to that happiness. So here's how it goes. Here we go. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Again. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Now try it yourself. Here we go. 3, 4. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Again. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Good. Now you can swing and you can move your body from left to right, and you can clap your hands and you can smile. So try singing it with a smile. Here we go. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Now listen to the second part. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Yeah. And then you can start dancing and clapping and singing. This is the whole song. Really easy. Now, the nice thing about kirtan music is that the lead singer sings the line and then the community answer. It's a call and answer. So you don't have to remember anything, because you're going to hear the lead singer, Deva Premal, the great Deva Premal, singing the lines. And we're going to answer along with the children chorus that I have on the album, a children choir singing the answers. So if Scott's ready and everybody are ready, you see, everything until now was just a rehearsal. Now we're doing the real thing. Okay, ready to dance, clap, and sing, and I'll coach you. I'll give you the cues. Here we go.
All right, here we go.
Okay, this is the intro. Stand by. Here are the drums. Now on the count of 5, we're gonna come in. We're gonna let Deva start. 4, 3, 2, Deva. Here we go. Now we sing. Now just clap and dance. Here's our turn. And smile. Deva. Our turn. our turn. Now during the instrumental, everybody just shake your hands like this. This is joy. This is happiness. It creates a lot of joy. Here we go. Now we. Joy, happiness. Yeah. All right, that was fun. This is just an introduction. This is just 5 minutes practice. You can do it for 5 minutes, and the real track is 15 minutes. You can do it 15 minutes a day. Every day you sing, you clap, you dance, and you celebrate joy, and you won't believe how it affects your health. It's scientifically proven. If you want to send me an email to yuval@yuvalroundmusic.com, I'll send you a link to 36 medical studies drawing a link between the level of happiness and health. So, simple medicine, the medicine of joy through music. Here you go, Scott.
You know what? I think we pulled it off. I think we did it. That was fantastic.
We did it, Scott. This was multimedia.
Absolutely. I mean, all from our home, right? There's something I didn't even get a chance to tell you is I had a wife who passed away 9 years ago, but she and Deepak Chopra and Miten were all very close friends and all very connected with Osho.
Yeah,
right. Before my wife passed away, we were all in India together, Deepak Chopra and Miten and Suchi, my wife and I. We spent 3 weeks together in India. And that chant was the chant that, of course, we sang so many times. Yeah. So, and we've had Deepak Chopra and Miten on this show. Yeah. So to have you suggest it and bring it back is really very, very meaningful. So thank you so much for that.
My pleasure. Thank you for sharing this personal story.
Yeah, tears, to be honest.
Mm.
There's some wonderful things that Yuval provides. I mean, he's got a lot going on. Lectures, books, albums. So here's his promotional postcard. And Yuval, where do we find all of this? Do we find this at one place?
You can find it all at yuvalrunmusic.com. Remember to put music in the title, in the URL, yuvalrunmusic.com, and you can find all of this. The music that I recorded with Deva Premal is on this album, 4 Divine States of Mind.
Beautiful. I'm going to come back to you. And I think while we were doing that, I did find here's your website. So I'm going to pull it up real quickly. yuvalrunmusic.com.
Right.
And yeah, it's one of those websites where there's a lot going on, a lot of really, really fun stuff. So definitely look at that. So definitely let's go to yuvalrunmusic.com. Well, buddy, both times you've been on the show, you've just brought such a wonderful energy. Last time you told a beautiful story. I love how you play your instrument. I just love your passion for life.
Thank you. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Good to be with you guys. It's a beautiful community you're building, and may it just grow and grow and expand.
Thank you. Look forward to having you on again very, very soon.
See you next time.
Absolutely. And again, I want to thank Jay. I'm going to just put the spotlight on Jay for a moment. Jay is who has done so much to put together this show. And of course, the lovely Jan. So thank you, Jay. Are you guys having fun? Yeah. Okay. I saw you dancing and moving to the music. It looked like you guys were having a pretty good time there.
Good job, Scott.
Thank you. All right. Well, we are in the home stretch, everybody. And we've got 2 more things left for you. We're going to have a wonderful video that was recorded with Dr. Gabriel Cousins. And then we're going to close out our evening with one more song from Giselle. I'm imagining that many of you probably know who Dr. Gabriel Cousins is. He's a remarkable human being. He founded the Tree of Life, and he's done so many things. He's been at the forefront of the health movement for 45 years. He's now in his mid-70s. And I did this interview with him. He's in Israel, so it's the middle of the night there right now, so he couldn't be on our show. But he was kind enough to record this special video for us. And you'll hear him say it, but guess what? This guy can do 1,200 push-ups. He is that in tune with his body, that connected. He is, it's remarkable. Now, this video, he goes into very specific tools and practices for health. So I suggest you either really get a piece of paper to pen out or get a device so you can write down, because he's going to give us really specific practical tools. You'll also see them in writing. Thank you, Jane for doing that editing. And if any of you want this video, private message me on Facebook and I'll send you the MP4, but I'll need your email address and I'll send it to you guys because it's really got a lot of great wisdom in it. So get ready for, and this is kind of the wrap up of this show, and then we'll have a beautiful song from Giselle, but get ready for some remarkable tools and practices from a master, Gabriel Cousins. Dr. Cousins, thank you so much, coming all the way from Israel to share your wisdom with us. It's great to have you back on the show, and would love to get your best tips, tools, and practices for optimizing health at this time.
Okay, well, the first thing is prayer. And so I'm going to start with the prayer, merging the heavens and earth, and really the heart and the mind. So we become integrated. And here's the prayer. Hashem Yaku Kudashar Brihu Ushinate Bi Ilo Ertno Lahe Shemuke Bavavke Yida Shem Kozrael Kolam Amen. And in my book, Into the Nothing, I outline a way of thinking and a way of approaching it, which is to take all our life experiences and turn them into a way of evolving spiritually. That's a key, like follow that deep message, whatever is happening. So everything is given to us as a gift of God. Now, out of that has come a holistic way of life. This is after I received what we call Shaktipat, or the Waking of Kundalini, in 1975. A little voice rang out and said, you should learn to eat and live in a way that supports the Kundalini, which is the spiritual energy, also known in the West as the Ruach Kodesh. So from that, I evolved the 6 foundations and 7-fold peace, which is a holistic way of life that helps clear the mind so we can transcend the mind and eventually go into the nothing. And that's what my book is about, Into the Nothing, which is beyond ego identification, and it's about merging directly with the divine. So the first foundation is a 100% plant-based diet and at least an 80% live food diet. I'm about 98% live food, and I have been since 1975. So it's a while. So the second part of that is spiritual fasting. And we usually do a 7-day juice fast where we dilute the juice in half. And we're meditating twice a day. And we're actually going to do, over the internet, a juice fast in starting April 25th. And they can go to drcousins.com to get that information directly and sign up. It's 7 days. And then we follow it with the yoga of the mind, which is known as Jnana Yoga, which shows you how to clear the mind in a more kind of yogic way. So that will be, of course, following that, because we want to clear the mind, to go beyond the mind. Now, the second foundation is yoga asana, sacred dance, which I love to do, and Tai Chi, qigong, to build the prana. Also pranayama, breathing exercises. That's the second foundation. Third foundation is service and charity. And that is a way of connecting your heart to the world, really. We have programs in about 42 different countries, mostly diabetes prevention and organic farming, and a lot of other different service things that we do, depending on the country and their need. But service and charity is important in the bigger picture. And then the fourth, if people are ready, is to work with a spiritual master, somebody who's already been acknowledged in a lineage of being awakened. So I've been blessed to be acknowledged by Swami Muktananda and Swami Prakashananda, where I lived on and off in India for really 7 years. So that was a very important thing. So there's a lineage, there's an energy. We're even able to do Shaktipat over the internet. Maybe not this time, but maybe in the future we can do that. But I am doing it on a regular basis, really 3 times a week. We have what we call the Shakti Hour, and we also have Alive with Dr. Gabriel, which is actually tonight. And I give Shaktipat over the internet. We have meditation and discussion and a few other things like teaching principles. So that's a way of supporting people, Shakti Hour. And the way they can do it is they, again, just go to drcousins.com. We also have a community network, which is really important in this time. I set it up to be able to support people around the world. and that's treeoflife.mn.co. So that's what we're doing. We're kind of off the Facebook and things like that because of the different things are going on, and we want to be able to actually speak to people about the issues that are coming up on every level. Okay, the fifth is meditating. And we have a particular way of meditating, which was given to me after a 21-day water fast in 1995. And that's the use of a mantra, and also with Shaktipat energetics of awakening the spiritual energy in Kundalini. That is, again, I teach that really on Shakti Hour, which is on a Monday night, and on a Wednesday night in what we call Alive with Dr. Gabriel. So we teach meditation. It's very important. Meditating to me is one of the most important things because there's a huge transformation that can happen to us over time. And the sixth is as much Shaktipat energy as you can get to move along the spiritual energy. So those are the 6 foundations. I also have the 7-fold peace. I do a lot of work with the scene energy, and the idea kind of came from that. So the 7-fold peace is peace with the body. And I want to say something that's very important. At age 77, which is my chronological age, we get more flexible and stronger. So when I was a captain of an undefeated football team, Amherst College football team, in the 60s, I could do 70 push-ups. Well, today I did 1,200 push-ups.
Wow.
Yeah. So what am I saying? Hey, I'm 20 years old, I can do 70, and now 57 years later, I'm doing 1,200. So the point is, we want to let go of the assumption that we get weaker and less capable with age. When I was playing football, I couldn't even touch my toes. I could get my hands to my knees. Now, put my hands flat on the earth. I can sit in full lotus. So that is really something can happen. You have to work at it. You have to be very consistent. I'm doing yoga 6 times a week, pranayama 6 times a week, doing these push-ups I mentioned like 3 times a week. So, but it can be done. And that's a really important message for people. 77 years old and you're getting stronger and more flexible. Not that impossible. Okay.
That is an amazing message. I mean, I'm very inspired as I look at you and I listen. That's remarkable. Remarkable.
Yeah. So I love it, and it's good. And it's an inspiration to people at this age, particularly, but at any age, we can get stronger, more flexible. So it's important to let go of the thought forms that say, no, I'm getting older. I can't do this. I can't do this. No way. So that's what the 0 point is, to help us let go of these kind of limiting thought forms in our life. So peace with the body, and then peace with the mind, which is meditation again, and peace with the family. I do a lot of work with what I call sacred relationship. I'm also a psychiatrist and family therapist, couple therapists, and to me, relationship is a spiritual path if you choose to make it and allow it to be a spiritual path. It is very, very powerful. So intimacy, sacred relationship is a part of that. The next level of that is peace with the community. And these days, particularly in America, that's pretty wild. So how do we get the right interface? And so part of peace with the community is getting the right distance in relationship to the overall community so that you're at peace. And then we have peace with all of creation. And I'm also a Native American sun dancer. So Om Atakiwasan, peace with all our relations. What does that mean? Peace with the living planet, what we call the rock people, peace with the plant people, peace with the flying ones and swimming ones, and then peace with all cultures. So that's an important piece. And then I have what I call sacred ecology, which is peace with the living planet and all of creation, not as an environmentalist who's working on the ecology, but we are one with the living planet. Us and the living planet are one. It's a different way of thinking about it and feeling about it. And then finally, peace with God. So 13. 13 is a sacred number that comes to one, and in the Hebrew it means also love. So the 6 foundations and 7-fold peace are a natural way of living on a multi-dimensional level that can take you beyond your mind, and as I say in my book, into the nothing. That's the key.
Oh, thank you. I was trying to find where that extra noise was coming from, and I'm not exactly sure what that was. But I hope that you all got a chance to really take in how much wisdom he just provided us. And I'll be honest, I'm humbled. The things that he suggested doing, I'm doing some of them, but there's definitely ones he's suggesting that I'm not doing. It's like, oh, okay. Because I sure would love to be anywhere near that level of health when I hit his age. So I hope that you've all enjoyed what Dr. Cousins had to say. And I'm going to go to gallery view for a moment and just show non-bar. Yeah, trying to see. Okay, yeah, it was Giselle who was that we needed to mute. So Giselle, if you're still with us, turn on your camera because I'll have you. I'll share a little bit, and there you are. You are still with us. Great, welcome. Hi. So we're going to play an excerpt of your video that you created for us on Saturday Night Live. Thank you for being with us. Did you get a chance to listen to some of what Dr. Cousins had to say?
Yes. Processing a lot. It is very late for me. I haven't stopped since early this morning.
All right, well,
I wanted to try to be here until the end, but thank you for
no, it's 12:24.
Such powerful work on here, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, I'll let you go. Just want to remind people again to go to her website, giselle.world, giselle.world. And I'm now going to you're going to be providing a lullaby for us, Giselle. This is going to be our good night lullaby for everybody. So thank you so much. Really been wonderful to have you. And for those of you still watching, I love it. We still have 267 people in our Zoom room. You guys are amazing. So Giselle, thank you so much. Hope to have you on the show again. And here is that wonderful video that she created for us.
Lazo cantante, gracias.
Did you all catch, oh, turn my camera. For those of you still watching, did you all catch how sweet it is the way the guitar player looks at her like, oh, okay. It's very, very, very sweet. I'm just the guitar player. Oh, okay, I better do namaste. Oh, Giselle's still watching, great. That was lovely, just beautiful. Thank you so much. So this is it, we're really wrapping it up, everybody. Please do remember to join me tomorrow for Sacred Sunday with Andrew Harvey, showing just some amazing videos. And I want to thank the people that are still with us. Wow. So I'm going to put the spotlight on a few people. There's Giselle, who we just heard from. She's still with us. 12:30 a.m. where she is. Hyla Cass is still with us. Dr. Cass, Dr. Hyla. Jay Mayer, who made so much of this show happen. Thank you, Jay, for sponsoring us. And his beloved partner, Jan. Thank you, Jan, for all that you did. Hey, I'm going to put the spotlight on our buddy, Jerry, coming to us from, I'm not sure if he's in Puerto Rico tonight or in Pennsylvania, or I think maybe he bilocates back and forth, but Jerry is with us. So we love all of you. Thank you so much, you guys, for being with us this late at night. And I am going to make some dinner. Tomorrow morning, Sacred Sunday, 10 o'clock Pacific time. Please join us. And every Friday night, Straight Talk. And next Saturday night, Divine Feminine Leadership on Saturday Night Alive. So blessings to each and every one of you, and have a lovely, lovely weekend. Good night, you guys.